Congressman, where are we from your standpoint? Tell us next steps.
Well, it's time for us to unite around the big one beautiful bill to get this done. Something that most Americans should know is that in the Rules Committee, they can make some minor changes to be able to take care of folks that might have some concerns as we go through the week. So there's that opportunity in the Rules Committee. Getting this on the floor and passing it by the time we leave late Thursday night would be the right thing for America, the right thing for the markets, and the perfect message to the American people that we're going to get this done, and those tax increases that go into effect at the end of the year will not be happening.
Yeah, then it's on to the Senate for an expected July 4th or, well, as one senator told me last week, James Lankford says maybe the end of July. So you think you'll get there? You think you'll have, because, you can't afford more than 3 no votes. You had 4 on Friday. So you think they will come around and you'll find the cuts that need to be put in there to placate those 4 members?
Well, I got to admit, on Friday, I was pretty down when I heard that the vote didn't advance on inside the Budget Committee. It had to be a miserable weekend. I spent my weekend with my family, and my son graduated high school in Nebraska. Speaker Johnson, Jody Arrington, all the folks spent all weekend, Ralph Norman, Chip Roy, everybody in Washington. What great news when I woke up this morning to movement and that something had happened. And I'm confident that's going to be the same week. That's going to be the same way the rest of the week goes. It'll be fairly miserable. But if we get to it on Thursday, pass it and go home, that's a perfect Memorial Day weekend. Yeah,
sure. Well, meanwhile, I want to get your take. Obviously, difficult times for Joe Biden and his family. The former president diagnosed with an aggressive form of prostate cancer. His team made the announcement yesterday saying, quote, on Friday, he was diagnosed with prostate cancer. Friday. Characterized by a Gleason score of 9 with metastasis to the bone. The cancer appears to be hormone sensitive, which allows for effective management. The president and his family say that they're reviewing treatment options with doctors. Of course, this is just happening a couple of days after the leaked audio from his 2023 interview with special counsel Robert Hur was put out there. It revealed his struggles with words and key memories, including the date of his son Beau's death. Got a new book coming out from CNN, Jake Tapper and Axios reporter Alex Thompson this week, detailing the Biden White House cover-up of the former president's mental decline. So now, of course, in the middle of all of that, we get this diagnosis news, Congressman.
My wife was 35. I had to tell her that she had cancer because the doctor called me. And it was a very aggressive form of cancer. Thank God it's been 13 years and she's totally fine. But I know what that's like. I've lived it. I've seen it. It's terrible. It touches way too many Americans and people in this world. So prayers to the Biden family. This had to be a tough weekend. At the stage that he's at and where he's at with his age, there's all sorts of different options I'm sure doctors have, but his family's going to figure this out. And, nobody wants to see anybody go through that. Yeah, we all wish President Biden well in the coming days and weeks as they review their options. Meanwhile, the Senate set to pass the Genius Act this week, establishing the first ever pro-growth regulatory framework for payment of stablecoins. Congressman, what do you want to say about stablecoin legislation? For a little while, people thought there was trouble in terms of passing this. Will it pass the finish line? I think so. The Senate going first is the surprise to me. We made so much progress in the House in the last Congress, and we have a lot of folks on the House Financial Services Committee that are subject matter experts in this area. Happy to see what the Senate's got. I know our chairman, French Hill, has been in touch with Tim Scott over there. We've got a few ideas of our own. I'm sure we'll be sending back something to make this market structure work and put America in the driver's seat of innovation, something that wasn't happening under Gary Gensler at the SEC and Joe Biden. But this time, I think we are going to take a significant step forward, and it will make this whole process safe for Americans and consumers. That's the best part of this. So I'm very bullish and excited on it. I think this can get done this summer. Yeah, certainly this is one of those pieces of legislation that a lot of people understand is very important in the whole crypto discussion, stablecoin, because it is attached to the dollar, backed by the dollar. That's right. If we want to be the world's reserve currency, which 55% of all transactions around the globe involve the U.S. dollar, then we need to tie one U.S. dollar to a stable coin, which allows people trading in Africa, on different continents where we want influence, to be using a dollar-backed stablecoin, which is in our interest. Because if we're not doing this, China will, Brazil will try, India wants this, the EU, everybody wants to be the world's reserve currency, and this gets us there.
What about the $5 trillion increase in the debt ceiling? Will that pass this week with the big, beautiful bill, or is that set for either late July or closer to the X date?
It needs to be in the big, beautiful bill if it's up to me, obviously. Any other option would put us in a situation where we are held hostage by the Democrats, and we can't afford what they would hold us hostage for. So wrap this up, get this done, get President Trump's term set so that he can do the things the American people voted for. The big, beautiful bill is exactly the best foundation to build on. And once we do this, then we can start thinking about getting the Farm Bill done, getting the budget done, and the rescissions that I know the American people want to see us codify some of these changes that DOJ has been able to identify. So we've got a lot of work to do, but it starts with a big, beautiful bill this week.
I mean, it's hard to believe that we would see the largest increase in taxes in American history next year, January 1, under Republican leadership. I mean, you got an all-Republican government, right? And so you've got to get this over the finish line in order to avoid that so that you can get those tax cuts extended. What are the odds?
Well, let me just talk to the American farmers and ranchers. If we don't get this done, the current federal estate tax exemption gets cut in half. That effectively makes it almost impossible for a lot of, I would say, land-rich, cash-poor farmers that their asset is their farm, that they pass through the generations. Putting that federal estate tax exemption and cutting it in half effectively stops the next generation from being able to raise cows or to grow corn or soybeans or whatnot. And in Nebraska, in the middle America, that's a killer. And I'm not even talking about the taxes that go up. I'm just talking about the exemption that gets cut in half that nobody's really talking about. And when I think about what I'm doing here in Congress, I think about those farmers and ranchers that I represent. That effectively ends the family farm, and that's not even an option.
And look what you're giving the Democrats on a silver platter on a year that you've got re-election, right? I mean, if January 1st comes along and we've got the largest tax increase that anybody has ever seen because you all couldn't get this tax extension bill across the finish line, look what you're telling the Democrats for their marketing going into the re-election of 2026.
Not a good plan. Not a good plan. That's why it needs to get done now. It needs to get done as soon as possible so that we can put this behind us. You know, if we go to the August recess and this isn't done, we've got problems.
Congressman, we'll be watching your work. Thank you so much for being here this morning. Michael Flood, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Maria.
Quick break.